We've made it. We are less than a week away from the EOCs, and we've done a lot of hard work to prepare for this. So let's go ahead and talk about what you can expect on the ninth grade Lit EOC. There are going to be four types of questions that you will be asked to complete. The first one being the selected response, or what we normally refer to as the multiple choice. Um, just like we've practiced in class, you'll have four answer choices. You choose the best one. These next three item types are going to be all writing responses. So the first one is the constructed response, which we've done in class as well. You are expected to write a minimum of one paragraph for this response. You'll be asked a question. You'll need to provide textual evidence to support your answer. The next one is the extended constructed response, and this one is going to be around 2 to 4 paragraphs, depending on what your prompt instructs you to do. So again, you're going to have a specific question to answer. You're going to use textual evidence to support your answer. And then the last one is the extended writing response, which we've recently practiced in class. This one's going to be a minimum of 4 paragraphs. We just like the response that we did about the aye-ayes and their habitats. So again, you're going to be answering a specific question. You're going to be given 2 passages to pull from. So you will be expected to use textual evidence from both of those passages to complete that. The extended writing response, it does grade your spelling and your grammar. So for this one, it is extra important that you go back and you revise and edit before you submit. Okay? So some strategies for answering these constructed response questions. You want to make sure you read the question or questions very, very carefully. Make sure you are answering all parts of the question. You want to go back to the passage or passages to find the details that are appropriate for your response that fit in really well. Before you submit, you want to reread your response. Make sure you've answered all parts of the question. Make sure you've edited and revised. You're not making any silly grammar or spelling mistakes. Make sure that the evidence you've chosen for the text supports your answer, and you didn't just throw in a quote in there to have textual evidence. You want to make sure that it actually applies to what you're saying and actually helps your response, helps your reader understand what you're trying to say. Your response will be scored based on the accuracy of your response and how well you've supported your answer with details and other evidence. Just like we talked about in the last slide, the extended response will also evaluate your writing. Your score will be based on criteria such as organization, clarity, transitions, precise language, formal style, objective tone, sentence structure, grammar, punctuation, and usage. So it is crucial that you go back and you revise and edit before submitting your responses. So just a reminder of some strategies that we talked about just to refresh your memory. The RACES strategy. This is super helpful to make sure that you've got all parts of your constructed response in there. You want to restate the question. You want to make sure you answer all parts of the question. You want to cite your textual evidence and explain why the evidence belongs in there. And then lastly, you want to make sure you summarize or conclude, wrap up your constructed response. The second strategy that we've talked about recently is the ICE strategy. So this is a strategy for incorporating textual evidence into your responses. You want to introduce the context of the evidence, tell us a little bit of background, why you're including that evidence. Then you want to cite the evidence. And then you want to explain how that quote fits in with your writing, how it makes your argument stronger, or how it makes your essay stronger, how it includes that textual evidence to make your point. So keep these things in mind. So lastly, how can you prepare? The good news is that we've done a really good job this year of making sure that you guys are all prepared. Your teachers have worked really hard. We've practiced multiple choice questions. We have practiced the shorter constructed responses, and we've practiced the longer ones. You guys have gotten great feedback on your writing. So your teachers have worked really hard to help you feel prepared. How you can prepare. You want to make sure that you've gone through all parts of the EOC test prep module. that is in the OHS. You want to make sure that you've completed any USA test prep or brain pop reviews or suggested practices that your teachers have mentioned. Just make sure that you've gone through everything that's been offered to you. So a couple of test taking tips, and we'll be taking our EOC on the computer, so all of these don't directly apply, but most of them do. So you want to make sure that you get plenty of sleep and eat some breakfast. Come prepared. You won't need pencils and erasers, but you'll need a fresh brain and a positive attitude. Make sure you take deep breaths and relax. Slow down. Don't get too stressed out about the time. Slow down and read those questions carefully. Look at each answer choice. You want to eliminate any answers that you know are wrong right off the bat, just like we've modeled in class. You may need to show some work on your paper, but just make sure you're working through it, you've thought through it, pace yourself, answer every question. We're not going to be filling in bubbles on paper, but you want to make sure that you've answered all of your questions before you submit it. So make sure you go back and check that all of the answers have been filled out. And lastly, be positive, try your best, just come in with a good attitude, and you'll be okay. I hope this was helpful.